And hello, everybody, again. Old Buck Dave back at you with none other than
Old Buck Dell.
Old Buck Dale. Hey, buddy, what a week it's been, eh?
It's been a very interesting week.
Wow.
Yeah, very interesting.
What an episode we had last week, as it turns out. I mean, who would have guessed we'd get so much positive feedback on an episode? I mean, that's really the most ever.
I kind of deserved it. It was subject matter is serious and interesting, and it's a it was a good story.
It's a great story. It's a great story. Boy, oh boy. And certainly we wish Bridey well on getting published here. But in the meantime, let me go right into letters from afar here. How's that? And so I'm gonna read some of the feedback that we've gotten, and I've edited these down. And so here we go. This is the first one. The Bridey Thelen-Heidel podcast may become the best of the new year. Her memoir will serve as an inspiration for children who are victims of violent and abusive homes. Bridey truly beat the odds to survive the tragedy of abusive parents. The fact that she was in and out of many schools resonated with me as I witnessed this as well, much to the detriment of children's success in school. Changing schools is always disruptive for children, but 10 or 20 times had to be overwhelming for her. But she overcame it, which is even more amazing. Okay, here's another one. I really enjoyed hearing the author reading the excerpt, and the interview was really interesting. This is a truly horrifying story to hear. She is to be commended for overcoming her childhood horrors, and she must be a saint to have lived through that. I truly hope she finds a publisher. Here's another one. The brief podcast captures the oftentimes quiet emotional abuse children experience. Moreover, Bridey's memoir is illustrative of how a person can rise above the adversity she faced in childhood to become a success in her work and in life in general. Okay, now there's one more here. I listened to your recent episode with Bridey Thelen-Heidel last night. Although I've often read about abusive family situations, I've never experienced it, nor have I personally known anyone who did. Reading news stories about these situations is much different than hearing them from a person who lived through them. This particular episode was very powerful. I am happy that she was able to get past her demons and is writing to help others who are in the same situation. Thanks for this episode, Dave and Dell. So those are a couple. Now I've got, and we actually got some people that used our new voice messaging system. I think we got 3 messages. They were all positive and praise of Bridey's story. I'm going to play one of them right now for you.
Hey, Dell and Dave. I have to say, first of all, congrats that you were our first podcast. I just listened to the last episode, and you guys were great. The idea of having Bridey on to do We Own the Night was fantastic. Her story was wow, what so powerful subject, and also her delivery of it was powerful. But really, her talking about it afterwards, based on your questions, obviously, was just as or even more powerful. Congratulations, it was fantastic.
So there we have it.
And I want to thank that listener for taking the time to do that. That voicemail thing works pretty good. Anybody wants to comment on something, use that.
Feel free to use. So, and powerful, he used the word powerful a couple of times. It was used, people just, in the neighborhood have listened to it and said, "Wow, man, Dave, what a powerful story." So yeah, it's just a spectacular story.
I can add to that too, Dave. An individual that listens who taught school also mentioned the fact that moving students like that in school, once they just about the time they're able to sort of maybe help them out, they're getting ahead, they disappear. So she corroborated the story in real life again.
Yeah.
And she said, "Congratulations for you guys for doing that." And I said, "Well, we were happy to provide a vehicle for a situation like that for her to use." And so I don't know. I'm just pleased that we were able
And
to
really,
be part of,
we're
part
just
of it.
really pleased that the feedback is such as it is, and
Mm.
because it's a great,
So-
it's an amazing story.
So any other comments, everybody? You can email us, and now you can even do a voicemail. And writing and writers and that whole thing is some of the stuff we like to do and talk about. So if you're in that genre, get in touch with us.
Talk to us. Yeah. Hey, listen, let's talk about, we got a letter from afar on a previous episode. This is the episode where we talked about your Trucks for Ukraine idea. You know,
But
where,
let me do a quick lead into that. And
okay,
that was based on the constant advertising of these vehicles being used in really rough terrain and dirt and all kind of stuff like that. You know, they're always bragging about how tough these things are, and they're bouncing them over rocks and around the desert, running around. And frankly, if I had a truck that nice, I probably wouldn't go any further than the grocery store with it. But so, you know what my suggestion was? Well, I said, why don't you paint them matte black and donate a couple to Ukraine if you want to, you know, contribute to them.
yeah. So,
And what was it? What was the letter? So you letter.
So we got a letter from Switzerland with a news story attached, and guess what? They are doing that. They are doing that. They are getting SUVs and trucks, and they're painting them all kind of a dull green, so everybody knows who they are. And they use it, two of them in tandem, to shoot down drones. One has a big spotlight on it in the bed, and the other has the a gun, a rifle or a automatic weapon of sorts.
Some kind of machine gun mounted on the back.
Machine gun. Yeah. That's what I was looking for. Mounted in the bed, and they've had just a real high success rate in shooting down drones using this.
So that idea was kind of somewhat vindicated. And if there is a automobile manufacturer listening to the Two Old Bucks, take a couple of them that you don't have to have a lot of fancy stuff on them, just so those guys can motor around over there, and it'll be all over the news. Let's face it. Every time they show something, they'll say, "Look at they're driving let's say a Ram or an F-150, and that thing is just holding up under those conditions. I could probably get one to go to the grocery store."
It'll probably work. It'll probably work. Yeah, but hats off to the Ukrainians for thinking out of the box again here. We'll talk about Ukraine at the end as well here. So don't let me forget that. Well, listen, let's move on to Stump the Buck.
Okay.
You want to try to stump Dave first here? For any new listeners, we give each other 3 clues to guess something that's kind of in the news or anyway.
Well, I think other people may be able to participate in this, because I don't actually have an answer to the first question, and I'll tell you why. You're a keen observer of things, right? You see things and you notice things, and we talk about them. So one thing that I noticed was logos. I pay attention to those things. And do you know the logo for Paramount? Is
that like
Paramount Pictures?
Is it the mountain?
The mountain with the circle of stars?
Yes.
Okay, so how many stars?
I subscribe to them. Yeah.
How many stars are there?
Oh, boy.
Okay, don't answer that, because I don't know. I've never been able to. It's such a quick flash. I've never been able to count them, and I've tried many times.
But this is important. This is important to you.
No, well, it's like a challenge. I said, well, maybe I'll count half of them this time, and then I'll count next time. I'll count the other half or something. I think there's 25. I think that's what the number was. But you can take an observant. You can be observant of that yourself if you're challenged to do that. Any listener who wants to do that, they can write in and tell us how many stars are actually there
and why.
So, yeah, and you have to. I did not Google it or anything or take a picture of it. I was always trying to sort of count them quickly. But my stump the buck question is, when it comes to logo, there's a car logo out. And the logo on the car model is a Subaru.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. How many stars are in the Subaru logo? How many stars are in the Subaru logo?
This is just as easy as the Paramount question.
Well, you pay attention, you watch things, you look around, and you've seen 1,000.
3.
It's probably been 100 of them in front of you just the other
3.
day. So.
How about 3?
No. Guess again.
I give up 4.
No. I
50.
I couldn't.
I don't know.
I was unable to count them either. I was unable to count them either. There's actually 6. There's 3 rows of 2.
Okay. You got me.
Next time you see a Subaru,
Uh-huh.
you look at that, and I looked at that, and I looked at that, and then I finally saw it really blowed up big, and I counted to make sure before I tried to test you. So there you go. As you're out looking around now, you'll notice them. That I finally counted them one day. I said, "Oh, how about that? There are 6 stars on that little symbol." So
Doesn't take much to please you, does it? That's great.
no, but why I'm fascinated with that stuff, I don't know.
Yes.
It's
Why
just
are you fast? You just don't know.
I don't know. It's
It just,
something
that's
in
okay.
my
That's
gene
okay.
pool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, let me put one on you here.
Okay.
Try to stump Dale. Okay. I'm going to do it by the rules here. So I'm going to give you
Okay.
3 clues if you need them.
Okay.
Here's the first clue. Everything.
Oh, that's too broad. You have to give me another clue.
All right. Everywhere. This is helping.
Everything everywhere. Crypto, I don't know. That still doesn't do it for me. Give me
You're
the
going
third
for the
clue.
last clue?
Yeah,
All at
maybe.
once. All at once.
All at once, everywhere. And,
Everything, everywhere, all at
everything.
once. This doesn't mean anything to you?
I'm trying to think what that would. No, it doesn't.
All right. It's a movie. It's a movie that's one of the Academy Award nominees. Everything, Everywhere,
Oh.
All at Once.
Okay. I didn't.
Okay, starring Michelle Yeoh, Ke Huy Quan,
Oh, you should have told me
Stephanie
it was a movie
Sue,
title. Okay.
Well, I would. Okay.
I still
Jamie
wouldn't
Lee,
have got it because I didn't know it was.
let me give credit to all the actors, the main actors, and Jamie Lee Curtis in a fine role, and James Hong, who plays Michelle's father. It's an incredible movie. It's hard to describe it. It deals with the parallel universes, and it's kind of like Matrix for regular people.
You've already seen this?
I've seen it. I've seen all of it once. I've seen part of it twice, and I've seen a smaller part of it 3 times.
Or is it on like a streaming service or something?
It is. I forget which one. I think it's on. It's on one of them. It's on Netflix or Hulu. I don't know. I forget. So I apologize for that. But
well, you have me an advantage there because I mean, unless I see it on a marquee, I probably don't know about it. So
okay.
All right. So Everything, Everywhere, All at Once sounds like a funny movie. So you recommend?
Well, funny is one of the things it is. Yes, it's pretty spectacular. I really think it's a fine work of art.
Well,
so you're not watching movies, but what are you? I know you're watching.
Well, I'll tell you, there's something that happened recently that have never happened to me before, and that's saying something. When
you grew hair
over 75.
No.
So it's just something that I've never experienced. I had no reason to experience it, and I stumbled across it by accident. And I'll tell you what the first one was. I'm sometimes interested in World War II aircraft, and always fascinated by how they were made. And
right.
So I saw something. Actually, this was on the phone. I saw something where when I go to my search engine in Google, there's always a bunch of options. There's so I sometimes flip down to 10 of those, and I don't find any site I'm interested in, so I don't go any further. But this time I did. About this airplane and how they were going to build one and repair it or something. So I clicked on it, and it showed this World War II German airplane and pretty good detail. And I said, well, at least there's one. They saved one. And I inadvertently kind of scrolled it or pushed it with my thumb. And
what happened?
Another sequence came up, a different sequence.
Uh-huh.
I said, holy smokes. I said, maybe these are tied together. This is something. So I did it again. And then there was something about a bulldozer falling off a cliff. And then boom, I did something again. There was some kind of a machine shop device that was making things. Then some, and I'm going, bum, bum, bum. I'm keep flipping these things. And I said, oh, my soul. I just spent an hour flipping through this stuff. And then it kind of dawns on me that I see all these people doing this all the time in doctor's offices or something, anywhere they look to be wasting time. I'm thinking they're reading their email or something. This is the most addictive thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it must take all the effort you can not to start playing with that. So I just recently.
You're going to tell us what it is?
I think it's YouTube. This was a
YouTube.
It was a YouTube thing. Yeah. But
you've discovered YouTube. All right.
Well, I thought YouTube, you had to ask for YouTube, like, BF 109 Messerschmitt or something, and you go to it and look at it. This thing was just nonstop. So I really said, I would ban TikTok.
It's grooming you. It's grooming.
Oh, I'm telling you.
It's grooming you. That's what's happening. So it's showing you all these delicious other routes you can go down. And you do, right?
Well, I didn't click on anything else. I just kept scrolling to think I would come to an end, maybe go back to my airplane.
Oh, there's no end.
There's no end.
There's no end.
Be warned, good citizens.
Yeah.
Be warned that you must not fall into that trap. Okay, so that was the most recent thing. I just done that. So here's the second thing. I had put some eggs in the freezer or in the fridge. Dave?
Got it. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I put some eggs.
I was making a note. Sorry.
I put some eggs in the fridge and I put them on the bottom shelf. And I didn't use them for a couple of weeks. For some reason, I just didn't use them. And they were on the bottom shelf where it gets the coldest. So technically, I almost froze them.
Almost. Okay.
Almost froze them.
Almost.
Right. So not thinking of that, I took them out and I cracked one. I looked at it and the yolk wasn't clear. It was all milky and thick. And I'm telling you, it looked like I'd broken somebody's eyeball or something.
Jesus.
I'm telling you, it was really appalling. It was really appalling. I've never done that before in my life.
We're going to have to give this an explicit rating if you keep this up.
Well, so then I broke another one and I said, oh, what could be? What the heck is wrong with these things? So I smelled them and then I said, well, let's taste them. So I scrambled them and I ate them. And
Okay.
they tasted like eggs and I didn't get sick. But I said, man, it was so unappealing. I cannot tell you how unappealing that looked. So I said, I can't afford to waste a dozen and a half of eggs. Maybe I can unthaw them.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I can.
You could thaw them.
You could sort of
thaw them. You don't want to unthaw
them. Well, maybe I can undo that yolk situation. And so I put them in a warmer part of the fridge when it wasn't so cold.
Okay.
And then I tried one actually this morning, and the yolk had retained some of its natural clearness, but it was still thick and sort of creamy looking.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do then? You Googled it. What happens to a frozen egg? And you can eat them if they're not cracked. But I can tell you, I never experienced it. I went, oh, my soul. I just never experienced that. Try it sometime if you want to see what they look like. And if it's so unappealing, it's so unappealing to look at it, you might not want to eat it. But
it's a good thing this is an audio podcast.
I ate them. It is, but I ate them anyhow. I just they're edible. They're they're not good for cakes or something like that. They said that yolk is so thickened now by the cold that it doesn't mix well. So that was the two stranger things that happened to me recently. I thought that was interesting.
So that's a public service announcement of sorts.
Sort of.
The second one.
Sort of.
Yeah. And the first one, I'd give you a word of warning. If you think YouTube is addictive, do not go to TikTok.
No, I don't.
That is now a defined addiction. TikTok. I don't do it, but I'm not on TikTok. But it's a problem.
I thought about the kids. Yeah, I thought about the kids because they will apparently feed you continuously with whatever you search for.
Yep.
And I said to myself, oh boy, I mean, kids in school should be paying attention. I mean, people sitting at traffic lights, I think sometime are doing that. I swear. So
anyway,
beware.
Okay. That's kind of a public service announcement too, then.
We have some time. I had something else I wanted to tell you.
Go ahead. It may or may not get cut. Talk to me.
No, this is it's a secret desire myself. I've always wanted to.
Secret desire. Once
Yeah, I've
once you
always
tell me, it's
wanted-
not going to be a secret anymore.
Well,
Just
we'll let
warning
everybody
you.
know.
Just warning you.
Other people may feel the same way. I've always wished I could have been the first person to create a word.
To create a word. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the first person to create a word, and what constitutes that word that maybe is a common word that everybody, we all know it, we all use it, and often wondered what the derivation of that word was. Like, I'll give you an example. The word utter.
You mean
utter.
like
To utter,
mumbling, or a
no,
cow, or
like
cow
is
part?
is this the one you're talking about? No, I mean the utter one.
Oh,
I had to throw that in. I mean a cow part.
you
I
mean
mean
a cow?
the udder of a cow.
The udder of a cow.
Not the other OTHER, but udder.
Okay, I'm with you.
And not utter, as in to speak, right? So I said to myself, I wonder if you were the first person to name that thing, how cool that would be. Like who gave the name mermaid to a half woman, half fish? Why would they call it a mermaid? I can see the maid part, but why the mer?
Why the mer?
Yeah, I mean, why did?
Mhm.
Because the logic is, why do you call a pickup truck a pickup truck, not a square-bodied bed truck? You see what I mean? There's all these things.
Yeah. Well, there is a reason for why it's called a pickup truck. I don't remember it, but I do remember reading that some time ago, like years ago.
I'm sure it made perfect sense.
It made perfect sense.
Now, and I should preface this that I am a man who has a dictionary, an actual dictionary, right next to my reading lamp. And many times I look up words, primary to see how they're spelled.
Yeah, well,
well, I mean, for obvious reasons, we've gone through that before.
That's not your strength for sure.
Yeah, but I definitely look up words, and then as a result, I find words alongside it, other words near it, and so on and so forth. So I've always wished I could have been, on our podcast to come up with a word that was so unique that it was attributed to the old Bucks. I thought, well, that'd be cool. Okay, so I'd have to name something or something.
Okay, well, that'll be a project. That can be a project for you. I mean, you may not be able to fit it into your schedule, but
yeah, I'm a busy man.
You're a busy guy, busy man. Okay. So
that was there's my secret. I've always thought about that.
Maybe
other people wish they could come up with a word.
You want to invent a new word. Okay.
Yeah. Well, here's another question for you. Do you ever see those people that use those just letters for texting, like LOL?
Yes. Oh, the abbreviations. Yeah.
I mean, there must be hundreds of them now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is there one, just in case I'm on a cutting edge here, is there one called TMB?
TMB.
Have you ever seen that? Is there one?
TMB.
Can we claim that one if I say?
I think you can write. Yeah. Let's see if it. Yeah.
So the two old bucks. If you're listening to the old bucks and you're doing texting, you can always, instead of LOL or whatever other things. I guess there are many of them, and I don't know them all. Sometimes I don't know what they mean. But I thought maybe I never saw TMB. And that
meaning
too much walking through the cow pies.
There's no B in anything that you said there. There's no B.
I mean, okay, too much walking through the bull.
You do have a spelling problem. Too much bull.
Yeah, too much bull.
Too much bull stuff. Okay.
So I'm going to claim that one. That's a two old bucks original.
Yeah,
so
I don't think anybody will be fighting you on that one, buddy.
If you're a texter and you want to use that, just hit the TMB.
TMB. All right.
Means you want out of the conversation.
That's a political statement. That's good.
Oh, you could probably tack that on if somebody's
that's where it would fit. Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. Well, you're burying yourself in YouTube.
I'm not going to do that again. I swear to you, I'm going to weigh myself.
I have taken up a new sport again.
Another one.
Well, it's one that I retired from, but I'm out of retirement. Pickleball. Believe it or not. Yeah. We got
knee and elbow and all those things have healed.
Most of them. Most of them. Yeah. So it was four of the women in our neighborhood have taken some pickleball classes, and now they have a regular Monday morning pickleball thing. And I am the substitute. So if one of them doesn't show up, I play. So it's great. It's really a lot of fun. It's low key. They're learning. They're getting better every week. And so I mean, I'll let you know how it goes, and what injuries take me out this time, because it's going to be something for sure.
But we did a podcast about that. I told you about that a long time ago. I don't know what episode where I sat in for the ladies. They were short one.
Yep.
And I went in and played my little heart out. And after that, I couldn't walk for about 12 hours. My feet were killing me. My knees were bothering me. I mean, I don't know what I did, but I punished myself severely. And I said, I'm not going to do that again, at least not after being away from it for a while.
You're smarter than
good
I.
Luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck, and hope the
I'll
meniscus
report in weekly on the injury report here, which is definitely going to happen.
What the recommended therapy is for your knee joint or your elbow or your shoulder or something. Well, that's cool. Enjoy.
Okay. Hey, let's
There's
move
a lot
on
of pickleball players out there, by the way.
Yeah, it's a great sport. It's a great sport. I wish my body could play it more. Hey, listen, I got some science news for you.
Okay.
You ready for some science education here?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so we're going to go back in time now. Picture yourself on the banks of the Youghiogheny River there. Outside.
I can.
Okay, you can do that. Now, remember when we have, what would you do? You'd pick up a stone, try to skip it across the river, right?
Not only stones, pretty much anything we could throw.
Anything we could throw.
We experimented with everything: apples, stones.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
LP records. Who knows what we used to throw?
And of course, the stone, the preferred stone was a flat stone that you could skip right across there. Right. So guess what? Science has sorted this whole hot potato question out here. I'm just going to read this short excerpt here. Science has finally answered the age-old question, what stones are the best for skipping at the beach? The answer is a potato-shaped one. While it's true that a flat stone will skip more times, a heavier stone will get more height and therefore looks way cooler as it travels. This finding might seem trivial, but it turns out that understanding stone skimming dynamics could also help us to learn more about phenomena like how asteroids move through space. In fact, mathematicians made the discovery while working to improve air travel safety. So what do you think of that?
I am kind of I wished I'd have had that
You're
years
flummoxed,
ago when
yeah.
we were competing with each other about who could throw it the furthest.
Well, you always won. You always had a better arm than I did.
I had a good arm for this.
You had a good arm. Yeah.
But think about that. Logic would say that something flat or dislike or something would be the way to go. But then again, science has proved us wrong, and sometimes I like to think I'm ahead of the curve on some of those things. Like when I come up with something, but they attribute it in a way to help deflect an asteroid. So they've got me on that one. I have not come up with anything that'll benefit the earth.
But that's pretty interesting. So I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try some potato shaped stones and see how it goes here.
So I wonder if our listeners notice the dynamics that we often bring to the conversation. what I sometimes think of, and you come up with something scientific. So we know we really cover the entire spectrum of what's out there. You never know what nook and cranny we'll come up with.
We never know
we are not locked in
is going to get unearthed. Yeah.
And it's always been that way. That's so funny.
That's a sad thing. Yeah. Hey, listen. Let's move on to our culture section here.
Okay.
All right. So I'd just like to tip the antlers here. We've over the last month or so, we've lost 3 songbirds. First one, this was, I think it was November, December, Christine McVie, if you recall her, from Fleetwood Mac.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
Yeah, it turns out she wrote a lot of their songs. She was really very talented beyond, beyond just the singing. She was kind of the brains of the group, as it turns out. That was so. She was.
And we only find that out posthumously. Interestingly enough.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the music fanatics knew it, but that was interesting. And then a couple of weeks ago, Jeff Beck, guitarist extraordinaire. And he was with the Yardbirds, and he was Jeff Beck group. He was, they called him like the guitarist. He wasn't in your face like some of them, but boy, he could do it. He could do it all. And then just over a week ago, David Crosby, formerly of the Byrds, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. A crazy dude for sure, absolutely nutso. He died at 81. I mean, I think it's a miracle he got like past
that's a great run for
30.
Life.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! Just
I
the
thought that was
the stuff that he did to his body, and wow.
And all that he did for music and all the places.
Yeah,
and things what a life.
Yeah, he might have been. He was definitely a bit wacko, but he was part of some great music. I just Crosby, Stills, and Nash that's some of my root music, man. I just always loved that stuff, that harmony.
Did you see there was a blurb about Mama Cass had them all together one time, and the instant she heard them, that harmony they had, she said, "You're not going to duplicate that." And
she
encouraged them.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well,
so that's a little bit of a
little bit of music history.
Little music history here
that you bring to the conversation. Interesting stuff.
Hey, before we go, I think we're getting close here, but I want to make a couple announcements. First of all, I'd like to announce that we're going to have a new segment on here. If I already announced this, just tell me. But I've known a fella named Jim for a number of years now, a few years, not less than 10, I guess. He's retired now, but he ran a successful construction company. He built big stuff, bridges and that sort of thing. So it was heavy duty stuff. And always enjoyed, being an engineer. I always enjoyed his stories of trying to do one structural magic thing after another. It was fascinating. But then after a couple grape juices, he'd start telling me his sailor stories or his airplane pilot stories from his youth. I mean, they were really incredible. Such that
he would be about our age too.
He is about our age. Yes.
Okay. So he's got some stories.
He's a couple years younger than us, but he's got some stories. I mean, he was kind of his own person, his own man growing up. Never worked for anybody else. Okay. So anyway, he's agreed to share some of his Captain Jim stories with us. So we'll have Jim on from time to time to tell us a story.
So in a future episode, you convinced them to tell us a story. Will he do it on a Zoom, or you just record it? How are you going to do it?
Well, I think we'll try to have them at live and in person.
Oh, okay.
On Zoom.
There you go. There
Zoom
you go.
live. Yeah. We'll see how it works. We'll see. I might have to do them separately and patch them in, but we'll see.
But
give it a shot.
It's a good option coming up. Well, stand by for a great story. The rest
He's
of the story.
He's got some really, really incredible stories.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to touch on here finally is we've got in a couple weeks, I may have mentioned this before, we've got an interview coming up with two women in France who are involved in providing aid to Ukrainian refugees coming into France. And in their little village I think it's northeastern France, they have housed several hundred Ukrainian refugees. They've housed them, and they're educating them, taking care of them, and it's an incredible story. The woman who organized this, I call it a story of grits and brains. It's really a fascinating story that she has, and I'm looking forward to talking to the two women who were important who are principal in making this happen.
That's sometime in the future. You got that lined up?
Well, tentatively the first or second week in February. Yeah. So we have
Already.
to. They're very busy. They're busy people, and they want to tell the story. They're also mothers, and taking the kids to school and teaching and doing other stuff. So
All right.
yes, they've agreed.
So all you listeners, keep a lookout for that. It sounds interesting to me. I mean, I'll be a listener just like you, and hopefully I can ask a few questions. We'll see what happens. So look forward to that, Dave.
All right, so I think we're getting close to the end here, buddy. You got anything else you want to dump on me here?
No, nothing. Crazy or earth-shattering. I just real happy to be a part of the Bridey story, and other people who. I mean, we certainly support writers. I know that's sort of a hobby of yours, and I read books. That means
you read books.
If that means anything, but let them get in touch with us, or certainly use that voicemail option. And thanks for listening and that kind of thing. I don't know. I've just been kind of an exciting couple of weeks here with all the stuff that's going on. So this is old Buck Dell saying I appreciate it and keep listening.
Oops, there was one last thing I forgot to mention. I write a monthly column for the Ollie organization, Ollie at Ringling College. It's their monthly newsletter. And the newsletter came out yesterday. I'd like to put a link to the newsletter in the show notes here. And so take a look at the newsletter. You can scroll down till you see somebody who looks like me. Well, you can read the whole thing, actually. But my article is called Go Ask Scout, and it deals with artificial intelligence and Chat GPT. And I actually lifted part of this from the segment we did in episode 114 about artificial intelligence. So take a listen, take a read, let us know what you think. Look forward to hearing what you have to say. Having said that, this is Old Buck Dave saying take care. Talk to you next time, folks. Bye-bye.